16-year-old boy believed to have fatally shot himself with cop brother's gun. Man confessed to killing his ex-girlfriend's son. And accused bugger of 7 children faces court on Wednesday. Hey guys, welcome back to Island Girl News, the place where you get the latest happening in Jamaica. The Maypen police are investigating the circumstances behind the death of a 16-year-old student of Halse Hall in Clarendon on Saturday, February 12. The incident reportedly occurred at about 9 p.m. The information indicated that a 28-year-old police constable who is assigned to the Spanish Town police station in St. Catherine was at a premises believed to be his home in the above-mentioned community when he went to take a shower along with his girlfriend, during which he took his firearm to the bathroom but left it outside the shower. While in the shower, he reportedly heard loud explosion, and upon investigation, he found his brother, who suffers from Down syndrome, holding his heart at the bathroom door, seemingly in shock. The lawman then discovered his now deceased brother on the floor of the bedroom in a pool of blood with the cop's firearm close to him. The injured teen was rushed to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The matter is now being investigated by the Independent Commission of Investigation, INDECOM. Man confessed to killing his girlfriend's son. In January 2020, Tamara Lewis suffered the loss of her 8-year-old son, who was brutally murdered by her ex-boyfriend in revenge for their breakup. The 42-year-old killer, Sh0t Rose, also known as Philip Williams, has confessed to his crime, with his reason being wanting to make Tamara feel the same pain he was feeling. On Friday in the Home Circuit Court, Rose pleaded guilty to heartlessly ending the life of Galen Buchanan. Following his plea, Rose was convicted for murder and his sentencing is scheduled for April 1. The body of Galen Buchanan was discovered in Kingston, close to the Manly Meadow housing development in East Kingston. The child's body was fished from the sea with his hands tied behind him on January 23, 2020, which was 2 days after he was reported missing from his father's residence. Shortly before Galen went missing, Tamara Lewis ended the 8-month relationship she had with Rose after he attempted to strangle her. Lewis explained that she only managed to escape Rose by biting him. Afterwards, she threw his belongings from the house they had previously occupied and changed the locks. In an interview that was conducted in January 2020, Tamara told the Jamaica Gleaner that she later discovered her ex-boyfriend's violent background, which included prison time in the United Kingdom and being sentenced for burning down the house of his previous spouse, who he was trying to kill with her children. The mother expressed disbelief over the death of her son as she stated, "Anytime Phil was here, the two of them sit down and him father car down in the lane and the two of them reason like big man." According to the released court document and Rose's caution statement given to the police, Rose got enraged by Tamara's rejection. This ignited his downward spiral, which was increased by co-workers and led to him murder of his one-time stepson. The caution statement, Rose dictated was witnessed by two justices of the peace. He also confessed to telling co-workers about the issue he had regarding Tamara rejecting his efforts to work things out. According to the caution statement, the co-worker told Rose if they were in that predicament, they would go to the house and destroy the furniture. Taking their advice, he first went to his ex-girlfriend's workplace to beg for forgiveness on one knee, but he was rejected yet again. He followed through on the advice given to him by going to the house, kicking down the doors, and destroying the television set and a fan. The caution statement went on to say that after he left the house, his ex-girlfriend called and he confessed to her that he broke the items because she broke his heart, and he was going to make her feel the pain he felt. Subsequently, Rose went back to work and confided in his co-workers again, who told him they would hurt her. Rose refused to hurt Tamara and explained that he wanted her back, which was when his co-workers encouraged him to hold on to something she loved. Following this, the anger Rose had inside him was directed to Galen, despite the close relationship family members reported they share. On January 21st, 2020, Galen Buchanan disappeared from his father's home in St. Andrew. The court documents stated earlier that day, Galen's father, Derek Buchanan, picked him up from school and fixed him a meal before going out to chat with his friends close by. These documents were based solely on police investigators' evidence. Not long after Derek departed, Rose came, spoke to him briefly, and went towards the house. Approximately 8 minutes later, Derek returned home and saw that his son was gone. Derek reported the child missing and told the police that during a call with Rose, Rose said he saw the child following behind him when he was leaving the area. Rose later confessed to the detective that he lured Galen away by saying they were going to buy ice cream. The killer confessed that he took the child to Seabreeze Avenue and threw him in the water. Following these horrific events, Rose called Tamara the Friday morning, offering to offset the cost of the funeral for the boy. Days after committing the murder, Rose was arrested in Trelawney. Upon the request of his attorney, Rose has been ordered to undergo a psychiatric evaluation by the High Court Judge Anne-Marie Lawrence Granger, who is presiding over the case. Accused bugger of 7 children faces court on Wednesday. The mother of 2 boys aged 6 and 12 years old, who were among 7 children assaulted, is confident that justice will prevail and her son's perpetrator will face time for his crime. The alleged perpetrator, Sheridan Sh0t of a St. Mary address, was charged on June 17, 2021 with buggering 7 minors. He was charged with 6 counts of buggery, 5 counts of indecent assault, and 1 count of grievous sexual assault. But almost 8 months later, there have been no conviction as the children are left to heal after one of their most fundamental rights as children, the right to protection from abuse as reflected in the Charter of Fundamental Rights and Freedom, was grossly violated, leaving them and their parents devastated. I am not aggravated. I think the law will prevail. Me just wait upon the justice because we know how these things go. I know the whole court situation. It takes a while. The only thing that gets me aggravated is when I go to court and see him. That is the only thing that gets me upset. It makes me feel dark inside, the woman said in an interview. Sh0t will appear before a sitting of the Home Circuit Court in Port Maria on Wednesday, February 17. Meanwhile, Deputy Superintendent of Police Delia Garrick communication officer for the Jamaica Constabulary Force, said that Sh0t was remanded when he first went to court on June 24, 2021. According to reports, a young girl who lived in Sh0t's community made a report to her grandmother about Sh0t in June, which was followed by similar reports from the 6 other children. Immediately after, Sh0t was held and severely beaten by irate residents before the police intervened. Police sources said that Sh0t moved to the St. Mary community in 2019 and over time developed a rapport with neighbors. One such neighbor was the boy's father, who esteemed Sh0t to be a good friend. He's a youth when me look for, Any little thing me give him. Me carry him go to work and them things them on. Any little thing him check me and I try to help him. Him wouldn't touch me baby them no time. Whether or not a my youth, them things they no fi happen. And for know say the man a do them things the right under me nose they so. And I go on like him good, the man said with an unmistakable tone of dejection. His sons underwent therapy and had their last session. His son underwent therapy and had their last session in early December. But speaking to the Sunday Observer about his therapy session, the 12-year-old expressed his reluctance after attending the appointment. I don't like the counseling because I have to talk a lot and I don't like to talk, he said with a laugh. His mother, however, said the session played a huge part in her not being consumed by anger and frustration after learning of the incident. Everything is going smooth. It is just prayer over everything. God is our comforter, so we seek refuge in him, she said. She offered a word of advice to parents who may be in similar unfortunate situation with abused children and are struggling. It is not a blame thing. I was blaming myself at one point, but when I got past that and got to understand that no matter how close you be and no matter how you shield them, some things will happen that you never saw coming, she said.